The call lasted 11 minutes, because you glanced at the timer when you hung up. 11 minutes? You covered the basics. How she's feeling, how the kids are doing, whether you're eating okay. She asked if work was still busy. You said yes. She said she'd let you go. You said I love you. She said I love you too, sweetheart. You hung up, and then you put the phone down and went back to whatever you were doing. Here's what you didn't see. She put the phone down too, but she didn't go anywhere. What happened in the next hour, what happens every single time you hang up? That's what this video is about, because most of us have never stopped to ask. And once you do, the next call you make will never feel quite the same. Before we get into what she actually does, I want you to hold one question. When was the last time you stayed on the phone past the moment you ran out of things to say? We're going to come back to that. There's a way most of us understand a phone call with our parents. You called, you caught up. She knows you're okay. You know she's okay. The connection was maintained. That's what calling is for, keeping the channel open, making sure neither side feels forgotten. It's a transaction in the most loving sense of the word, an exchange. And when it's over, it's over. You've done the right thing. You can move on. That's what most adult children believe, even the ones who love their parents deeply. And for them, for you, the call ended the moment you hung up. For her, it didn't. A phone call from you is not something your mum files away and moves on from. It's something she carries, sometimes for hours, sometimes for the rest of the day, and sometimes, if something was said or if something almost was, for days. You don't know this because you've never been on her side of it. You've been the person who makes the call. She's the person who waits for it. And those two experiences are not the same. They're not even close to the same. When you hang up, she sets the phone down somewhere close, not on the charger across the room, close. And then she replays the call, not out of worry, and not usually, out of love. She goes back through it the way you go back through a conversation that meant something, listening for the things that were easy to miss the first time. The tone of your voice, whether you sounded tired, whether the laugh was real or a little polite, whether I'm fine meant fine, or something else entirely. You talked for 11 minutes. She listens to those 11 minutes again, silently, in about 3. She catches things she didn't respond to. She wonders if she asked enough. She hopes she didn't talk too much about herself, or not enough. She replays a sentence you said near the end and tries to figure out what it meant. This is not anxiety. This is what complete attention looks like when it arrives a few minutes too late to change anything. And then she tells someone. If your dad is home, she tells him within the hour, with a specific detail that you sounded good, or that you mentioned something funny, or that you're still dealing with that thing at work. She shares you the way people share good news, because that's what you are to her, good news, every time. If she has someone she talks to regularly, a sister, a neighbor, a friend she's known for 30 years, it comes up, not dramatically, just naturally. I talked to him today, or I talked to her. She doesn't always mean to bring it up. It brings itself up. Because you are a subject, she returns to the way most people return to the things that matter most to them. You called for 11 minutes. To her, those 11 minutes are worth talking about. There's one thing from your call that she'll still be thinking about tonight. You probably don't know which thing. Maybe you don't even remember saying it, but she found something, a small detail, a piece of good news, something you said in passing, and she held on to it. Maybe you mentioned the kids did something that made you laugh. Maybe you said you've been sleeping better. Maybe you just sounded lighter than last time. And she noticed, and she filed it somewhere warm without even deciding to. Whatever it was, she's going to return to it the way you return to something that made you smile in the middle of a hard week. This is the part most adult children never know. The things they say in passing are not passing. They are collected. They are kept. Think about the last call you made. Is there something you said? Something small, something you barely remember, Bisha, that she's still carrying right now? You don't have to answer that. Just let the question sit there for a moment. After she's replayed the call, after she's told your dad, after she's turned over that one thing you said, the house gets quiet again. Not sad, not desperate. Just quiet in the specific way that follows something that was briefly alive and has now gone still. She moves on. She makes dinner or reads or watches something she's been meaning to watch. She is genuinely, honestly fine. This matters to say, she is not sitting in the dark waiting for you to call back. She has a life. She has days that are full of things that have nothing to do with you. But there is a version of your voice in the air of that room now, the way there is after anyone you love has just left, and later, not immediately, but later, before she sleeps, she'll think about talking to you again. Not out of sadness, out of the same instinct that makes you think about a good meal hours after you ate it. She liked talking to you. She wants more of it. She won't call. She doesn't want to seem like too much. She's made a quiet calculation, one she's never told you about, one she'll never tell you about, that she'd rather have a little of you on your terms than risk becoming a burden on yours. That is not a small decision. That is love that has learned to ask for nothing while wanting everything. And you are already asleep by the time she makes it. If what you're hearing is sitting with you, if you're starting to understand that the call doesn't end for her when it ends for you, there's a video right there on the screen that I think you need to see next. It's about what your mom does in the hours before you call, the checking, the quiet ritual of keeping the phone close, the small hopes she carries into ordinary mornings when she doesn't hear from you. Together, they tell the same story from both sides of the phone. Watch that one next. You called for 11 minutes. She was with you for the rest of the day. That's not a reason to spiral into guilt. Guilt doesn't call. Guilt doesn't stay on the phone past the moment it runs out of things to say. Guilt just makes you feel bad, and then you disappear a little more. But awareness does something different. Awareness changes the shape of the next call. The next time you dial her number, you're going to remember this. You're going to know that when you hang up, something keeps going on her end. And maybe that's enough to ask one more question, to stay on a little longer, to let the silence sit there for a second without rushing to fill it or end it, because you have time, and she is worth every minute of it. She's not waiting for a perfect call, she's waiting for the next one. If you're watching this and she's still here, call tonight. Not when this video ends, now. Put it on pause. Go call her. The thing you were about to do can wait. This can't. If this moved you, there's a whole channel here built on this one idea, that they're still here, and that still means something. Subscribe if you want to keep being reminded of that.